Hello everybody, it's Agony333 here, back for another fucking movie review. This time it's another foreign film. It is a movie from 2009 entitled Mother from South Korea. And it's quite the film, I'll say that much from the get-go, but let's delve into this fucking shit. Let's see what lies beneath. So it is a crime drama mystery. As I stated, it's 2009, South Korean. Runtime of 2 hours and 9 minutes, which is pretty, lengthy, but those things never bother me as long as the film itself is good. And so pretty much one piece of trivia I was hoping to get to before I got into the plot was a neat thing that I had found out when I looked into it, because, I researched some of these things. Is apparently this movie was made by the same guy who made The Host, which is another movie I watched quite a few years ago, which is also a pretty cool fucking kind of like monster movie type film. Pretty awesome, though. I don't know if I'll review it later on, but just was going to say it's a pretty good movie. I'm not sure if you will like this one. If you liked that one, you may. If you're like me, who just likes a different range of genres and films and stuff, you may like it, so that could also, urge you to check this out. But in my opinion, both films were good. But anyways, let's get into this. So pretty much, and also I wanted to apologize if I butcher any names. It's been a bit since I've seen this film. So yeah, I'm going to go off recollection here. Pretty much, this movie has to do with said mother who lives in a small town, and she has a pretty much adult, not child, but her child is an adult, and he lives with her, and his name is Do Jun, I believe. Anywho, what happens is pretty much a young girl is murdered in this town, and immediately it's pretty much pegged on the son, Do Jun. And pretty much, the police get a hold of him, they take him in, and it's pretty much guilty, until proven innocent. It's not the other way around. They're pretty much like, this is a done deal. This case is fucking closed. This asshole did it. So yeah, the mother basically is completely on her own here, and without any help, decides pretty much she's going to take it upon herself, because her son is the only thing that she has. She takes it upon herself to try to find the real killer, and to basically, CSI, whatever you want to call it, detective. She's gonna fucking try to free him and find the true killer and the source of all of this. And that's pretty much what this movie is. There's gonna be probably a lot I leave for spoilers, so I'm just letting you know that much. I may not discuss too much right here in this opening. But one thing I wanted to say that I have noted here, special, is it's a slow build kind of film. And those things don't bother me as well. Other people, they bother them. I mean, some people just don't have the attention span, I guess, to sit there and fucking wait for shit to pick up. For me, I sometimes appreciate a slow build. I appreciate taking time for characters. I appreciate just the slow moments. Sometimes they add. They add to the characters. They add to the film. They make the impactful moments much more profound later on. That's why I always am appreciative for those sometimes. And in this case of this film, I would say it works. It's a slow build, but stick with it. I stuck with it. I always stick with it. But I mean, in this case, I felt like it worked. And it seems not, I wouldn't say cliche at first in the directions it goes, but it makes you think it's going to be cliche, and it gives you little clues and nods, because like I said, she's going to be trying to find who the real killer is, and she's trying to investigate, and there's, a person particularly in mind that she has in her head who probably done it early on in the film. And I mean, a lot of things lead in different directions, and you're kind of like thinking, okay, I get what's going on here, and it completely does a 180, and it surprises you. So that's why I say stick with it. It's later on, it definitely, the slowness kind of, it ramps up, and some surprising things happen that definitely help this film. Let me take a gander really fast, because I don't want to reveal too much for anybody who is actually intending to watch this film. But I will say the twists were pretty awesome, especially the later on ones. Like there's one that's, I don't know if I'd say 3/4 the way. It's pretty long into it, but man, I did not see it coming, and it was a definite like what the fuck, like oh shit moment, and definitely heightened it in my opinion. It was like, this is great, and that's what I'm saying. With foreign films, they do outside the box things. They're bringing stuff to the table they're putting depth and things to these characters and stuff that I don't always get to see typically, and that's why I love foreign films. I feel like they just nail so many different aspects, and hopefully you would agree, and hopefully this will help you seek out other good films like this one and others I've maybe reviewed. But any fucking who, I'm trying not to get off topic here, but let me, like I said, take a gander very fast. I will say, I guess this one, the initial feeling I got from the mother is that there was something strange about her. It's not like, just a typical mom. There was some strange kind of tendencies there that I was noticing anyways. And it made me kind of have a lingering feeling, like, made me kind of wonder what hand she has in several different things. Maybe I'll get into that during spoilers and stuff. But there was definitely a strange presence, I'll say, that kept it kind of interesting. She wasn't just a typical mom. It was just, there were some kind of layers to her, some strangeness to her that, like I said, it gave you a strange feeling and made me kind of wonder if those things would, cause something plot wise, or it would explain more, or what. But she is ultimately a good mom. That's that much you can gather. I mean, let me see here. Sorry, I'm just taking a moment because I don't want to reveal too much. But yeah, like I had said, the mother is pretty much trying to figure out this case on her own. Pretty much nobody cares, nobody believes her. So I would say that's one thing, is you're definitely rooting for this mom. You really feel her sympathy in this because she's obviously the main character. But you feel like, at least for me, you feel the weight, just the weight fucking bearing down on her. She's a single mom. The guy ain't in the picture, and you feel the weight bearing down. You kind of feel the judgments because, like I think I previously mentioned, the son's mentally challenged, and or at least I hope I mentioned. Now I'm kind of wondering, did I mention it? But the son's mentally challenged, and that's part of why I think he gets pegged with it. I mean, other circumstances, but yeah, pretty much you feel the sympathy, you feel the weight bearing down on this woman, you feel the judgment from these people in the small town. You can tell the circumstances are rough, and that really helps you root for her even more so. I mean, from the get-go, you'd probably root for the mom to, liberate her son and find the true bastard, whoever had killed the young girl. But this only, what's established beforehand and through the film helps you root for her that much more and want to see her succeed in finding the truth. Um, and yeah, I believe, unfortunately, that's about all I really want to get into before spoilers. I mean, I know I didn't really touch on too much, but I definitely recommend this film. People who don't mind slow burns but like a good mystery, like some turns, like some good twists there, like some good emotion and some sympathy, sympathetic characters and stuff like that. A little bit of guessing games, the whole bit, like, turning up clues and going from one clue to the next, and just, the awesome part of, like, mystery genre and crime and drama and all that stuff. It incorporates all that pretty well, and it's pretty cool to see. So I would recommend it if it sounds interesting to you. And now I'll give my score before I go into spoiler territory. So my score, I'd thought about, and I think I was going to basically rest on a 7.5 because it is a pretty good movie. And that's the other thing I'll say before getting into spoilers. Don't leave just yet. The acting's pretty damn good to me across the board, but especially so the mother. The mother is, man, like, the actress portraying the mother did a very good fucking job here. At least I think she did a pretty fucking good job. And yeah, music was pretty good. The scenery was really cool, and like I said, just the depth, the twists. So really, the length, you felt the length a little bit, but it didn't detract, it didn't take away from the film. So if the length is something that's concerning you, I'd say try to put it to rest and just stick with the film. It may take a while to get going for you, but to me, anyways, and probably to others, I would assume it's worth the payoff. So yeah, I guess that's all I'm gonna talk about before spoilers. Unfortunately, there's some other things I wanted to discuss. So if you have not reviewed this film, I would say go ahead and go watch this film before getting the whole fucking thing spoiled for you. Because, yeah, I always would prefer people to actually witness the film themselves rather than just have the whole fucking plot ruined. So, but anyways, without further ado, to everyone who has to leave, peace out, everybody. I'll see you in the next review or whenever the fuck. And for everybody else who stuck around to hear my thoughts on some stuff, get into those fucking thoughts. Alright, so, the strange feeling about the mother. Yeah, there was some weird things, I felt like almost like I don't know if I'd say incest, and I'm actually, like I said, it's been a bit since I've seen this film, not too long, but I've seen other films since then, but yeah, I felt like an incest kind of vibe going on, which was kind of strange, kind of freaky, and maybe that was due to her circumstances, because she's pretty much utterly alone in this shit, but, I thought that was rather strange, and, just different strange things about her, the whole vibe, honestly, for a while there, made me kind of wonder early on, if somehow a twist later on would be like that for some reason she killed the girl or something. I mean, in very, very early on, very early on, I was like, okay, maybe the mother, maybe abused him, the son, or who knows? Like, I don't know. I just got strange vibes. Like, maybe what we were seeing was not fully what was there, but obviously those assumptions were wrong. She wasn't, yeah, any fucking who. But she was a good mom, and she obviously went to some great lengths to try to protect her son. The next thing I'll get into is, like I said, about the butchering the names, Jin Tae. The friend. Yeah, the friend. That's the part I think I mentioned early on about it seeming cliche, because I fell for it. I figured it was going to be him. I figured that he was the asshole behind the whole thing. But what I thought was, though, that, you know what I mean, she would find something and it was going to not really drag it out, but, it was going to take a while for her to find more clues. But I was completely wrong, and I'm so glad that the people making this put that there and then cut it away quick and showed you that it was full of shit. Because, yeah, that to me was an awesome move, because that totally kept you guessing. And, like I said, kind of buried some cliches there and took away some of the more obvious things that you would think. The next thing I have here is, yeah, okay. When it comes to Jin Tae, to me, he was it's pretty obvious to see that he was a pretty fucking bad influence to, Do Jun, the son, because, the son gravitates towards him. It seems like that's really his only friend, is this fucking kind of hoodlum, I don't know if I'd say outcast. He seems pretty popular to me, but I don't know if he's a gangster, what, kind of hoodlum type motherfucker. And, the son's attracted to this because he sees, him with some, he sees this bad guy with, women and kind of popular and shit. And he doesn't have, many people around. And this bad fucker, kind of demeans him in some way and shit. And it's just like, it's one of those situations where it made you want to wish you could talk some sense into him. And I mean, his mom tries to, but it's just like, you can tell, it's like, man, that's what fed into the cliches. Like, you could totally see how he was going to, you could either see how he was going to manipulate and use him, Do Jun in some way, or easily have him be the false. So that's what made it sort of believable. And it was, to me, like I said, that was kind of a genius move on the part of the movie makers. And the other thing I was going to say is, I believe that the reason why Do Jun more so followed Jin Tae, this troubled fucker, is because Do Jun was frustrated with life. I feel in general, he was, he's got these disabilities, and he's frustrated with the treatment he receives from the town. He's frustrated with a lack of being able to get a girlfriend, and to just even everyday life things that are a challenge for him. He's frustrated with it, which, I mean, would be understandable. I mean, it didn't seem like people really treated him the best. I mean, hell, his friend is this hoodlum fuck who pretty much demeans him and shit. But really, it seems like the mother was the only person that's really out for him, watching his back in a sense. And so, yeah, I believe that's also what kind of spurred him on into following the bad influence was, he's frustrated with life. He's trying to find a place to turn in order to either succeed or find something greater. The other thing is, I believe by also following Jin-tae, he kind of learns from him and starts to believe, he's like led to believe that being in trouble is a good thing. I mean, you can see several instances of this when he's kind of bragging about stupid shit he's done, or he seems to kind of go out of his way to want to break some rules and not really think about it, just blindly follow Jin-tae or do some stupid shit. And that also feeds to the cliche where I thought Jin-tae was the asshole all along, is because it makes it, like he's easily manipulated and could be told to do whatever or whatever the case. So yeah, he's sort of led to believe being in trouble is a good thing, and that ends up biting him later on with the police, as I'll get into. And that's the next point I have here. The police incompetence in dealing with mental disabilities. Signed Confession. And I also have Laugh here, because I believe they're even laughing at him at some points and shit. And it was just, to me, that was just fucking, that aggravated me. But to me, seemed true to like how it would probably be. I mean, there's probably a lot of police, situations and whatever where, and it's not just them being incompetent. I'm not trying to down and whatever, okay? I'm just saying, there's probably, this kind of shows how there's some officers who are not exactly equipped to deal with criminals or, suspects who have disabilities. So, they're not equipped, they don't understand the situation, and so it's easy for situations like the Signed Confession to happen where they just, they got this huge caseload, they don't know how to approach it. So, this person who's disabled who wouldn't have committed this crime says they committed it because they feel like they, they're trying to do what they're sort of told. They want to appease the other person when they're interrogated. They're not equipped to understand and deal with these kinds of issues, unfortunately. So it made me kind of wonder when I was watching this, like, man, like, how many times is this probably a situation similar to this, or something's fucked up that's happened in real life? So I like when movies kind of touch on that, and that's what I'm saying by the depth here. It didn't just go into the case, it goes on other subjects and shows other things as well, other characters and stuff. So yeah, that situation fucking pissed me off, but I'm happy it was there. It showed other sides of things, and that was the other thing I should say that was good about this movie. Is it didn't just show all the mother, it also showed some of his experiences while being kind of imprisoned, while she's trying to figure this out for him. And so let's go on to the next thing. The funeral. See, I want to go into the funeral. So, to me, the whole funeral scenario, to me, showed how people basically believe whatever they're told without questioning it a lot of the times, unfortunately. It kind of shows the whole pack mentality. It shows, immediately from the get-go, Do-jun is pegged with this thing, and instantly nobody fucking questions it. Nobody. Everyone's just like instantly, yep, it's fucking him. Without knowing true facts, without knowing the entirety of everything, without his sentencing, they're just immediately, they jump on the fucking bandwagon. And I mean, we see this all the time in media, whatever the fuck. People don't want to and I don't know if I'd say this, they don't want to think critically, but it just tends to, people just want to, they'll just eat up whatever they're told from the get-go, and it just creates a problem. And in this case, I saw that as a problem, and it bothered me. And that's the good thing that I'll say also, is this film, it gets you to feel. It got me to feel for the mother and be like, God damn it, with her along with her saying, you wish these people would have some sense and kind of listen to her a little bit. So, I mean, you could really get into her character and kind of feel her feelings on this stuff. And the funeral was a shit show, obviously. It sucked to see. It sucked to see. I mean, it also showed another aspect of criminal cases, things like this, where, the surrounding family of the guilty party, how they are treated, even though they did basically nothing wrong. I mean, she's just there, at the funeral to try to pay her respects. and just other things, whatever, and she's just instantly downcast and instantly, in a sense, persecuted and has all this shit going on. And you know what I mean? It shows how a moment like this in a small town has all these ripple effects and just causes hell, not just for the person involved, but the people around them. That's the true sad thing with tragedies like this, is it does not just affect the one person. You know, it affects the whole family, is pegged and has this huge negative thing when they did nothing wrong. And this goes to show that. And that's what I'm talking about. This depth is just, to me, this is rich. You know, it's showing all these aspects that other films, you know, either scarcely touch on, or there's so many things covered in this. That's what was great. So even though it was a slow build, it's touching on all these things. It's showing all these struggles as you're going through, and you can totally feel and relate with the mother. It's great. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. So yeah, mother tries to figure it out on her own. Nobody cares. Nobody believes her. And another thing I should have mentioned also is she doesn't have the money. You know, she's a single mom struggling to make ends meet basically before this happens. But now she's got to try to figure out a lawyer, and that's going to be the next thing. She's trying to figure out a lawyer. She's doing everything she can on her own, fighting this horrible battle against all, you know, all of this shit. And it's crazy. It's like, you can, at least like I said, you can feel the weight. You can just feel it crushing. You can feel this crushing weight, and it's sad. For me, it was pretty sad to see and feel. The next one I have, and it goes into the lawyer, is I fucking hate the lawyer. And I think everybody who pretty much watches this would fucking hate the lawyer, because the lawyer's a fucking scumbag. Because I mean, moments like, you know, I believe he touches on, you know, his caseload. He comes in and out in the initial meetings and things. And just the big one was, I believe it was a karaoke bar he was at with associates drinking and things. And he's like wanting to settle on stuff, not really fight too much. And just the things he said is just complete apathy. Complete apathy in the situation is just, I fucking hate that shit. I hate apathy. And it's apathy is so heavy and all over the place. And yeah, there's this lawyer, like I said, he's a scumbag. He's completely seeming to be apathetic. Wants his cut. Wants this fucking case just closed, done deal. Move on to the next one. A generic asshole at the least. And yeah. Okay, I'll move the fuck on before I keep going on to it. Onto it for too fucking long. Okay. Slow build, I already did that. And I kind of already touched on this, but the whole he did it thing and then flipping it. I absolutely loved the Jin-Tae thing and flipping it and all that stuff. But what I also loved was how through this whole adventure, well, before I get to what I was saying, what I absolutely loved. The cool thing I thought was how Jin-Tae later on sort of came back and ended up sort of helping the mother in ways, and sort of had some support there that she, in a way, maybe needed, because she, like I said, she was completely on her own here. And he kind of, to me, I don't know if completely redeemed himself, but to me also sort of did redeem himself and did some really cool things. And I love that aspect that now she had like a partner, and it, you know, just different characters and things helped this film a lot. It was really cool, in my opinion, to see all these people and all these situations. But the thing I'll say that I loved was later on when you finally realize that in fact Do-jun did indeed kill the girl. That was a fucking cool move there, because it to me, it sold you not on the cliches, but I mean it did for the cliches in the beginning, but I mean it sold you on him not being it, and you wanted him to not be it, just like the mother. So when you finally found that out, it's just like, man, like all the things she went through, all of this shit. And then as it turns out during the interaction, when she finds that out, the guy that she's there with, it ends up basically spurring on where he's going to put the nail in the coffin and send her child away and screw them over. And she kills him. And that's what I'm saying I loved, is because, I mean, it put her in a dynamic, because the whole film, it's like you have this sense that she's doing justice and she's doing what's truly right, and you're rooting for her. And in this moment, it's a moral choice, and she just, on a whim, boom, murders the guy that she thought it was, who's actually innocent. And it makes you think. It's like, what should she have done? What would you have done in that situation? And it's just like a holy fuck moment, of just what's you know what I mean? It makes you relate to that and kind of see. It's like, man, she had a choice to make of doing what was truly right, or keeping the only person around that she really has, that she's done all this for, and she'll be completely alone otherwise. And just there was so much to that, in my opinion, and that's what made it like a holy shit moment. And just it happening out of nowhere like that even to me more so elevated it. Because I mean, things were picking up before that, but when that happened, when that kicked off, I was like definitely hooked at that point. I was like, oh my god, like this was a great fucking thing to have happen in this movie, because man, it was fucking cool as hell. And then what also was, at the one point when she went to visit another basically mentally challenged man who's about her son's age, from an institution or something, I believe. And the choice of allowing him to take the fall for her son, that's like, I don't know if I'd say insult to injury, but I mean, you could tell that her killing the man that she killed weighed on her, and that she could feel that, and it was fucking horrible. And coming to grips with the fact that her son was a damn murderer, and that he'd caused this fucking atrocity indeed. But then to have another moral dilemma, to have another round of, and then it gives the other question. It's like, okay, I already, I'm putting my perspective in her shoes. It's like, I already went this far. I killed this person for my son. Do I stop here, or do I even go further into like this darkness of sorts? You know what I mean? It's like, man, it was, you could tell the weight, kind of like the guilt. Just to me, you could feel that kind of bearing down on her more so. And it's like, I mean, you're wondering what choice was she going to make and all that stuff. On him taking the rap for the son. And then the other dynamic of looking at it was like relating to the person taking the rap. It's like, now he's in the situation that we all thought that Do Jun was in this whole time. You know what I mean? Does he deserve to take the fall? He's truly innocent here. So, you know what I mean? It's like, it makes you kind of question your own feelings on things, because it's crazy how it sets all that shit up. And that's what I liked about this film. This film's fucking awesome for that. But yeah, I mean, that's, I believe, basically all my notes. Finally, I went on for quite a while, but I don't mind. Hopefully you guys didn't mind either. It was a cool film to discuss. It was a cool film to kind of dissect and look at. And yeah, I mean, quite the fucking film. And like I keep saying, I love foreign films. I love this kind of stuff. I mean, this was not an extreme film, but I can't get enough foreign films sometimes. They have a unique quality to them all, I feel. And they execute emotions so well. They execute all these layers of depth so well. They touch on so many issues. I love it. It's rich. I mean, this film was rich, just like some of these other films I am reviewing are rich in, content and other stuff. But yeah, so I believe that's basically everything I got to discuss on this film. Fucking awesome film. I hope everybody who stuck around to watch all this shit, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Like I said, 7.5. I almost kind of pushed it to an 8 even, but I was like, I'll just keep it at 7.5. Really good film. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I got to say, folks. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you love foreign films like I do. And if you liked my review, if you liked this fucking awesome movie, like, comment, subscribe for more. More is definitely coming. I am not going to stop on foreign films. I'll be back to extreme films at some point as well, horror. But yeah, I mean, even foreign films in general, I just love it. If anybody's got recommendations of, not even just horror films that are foreign, but any really good foreign films, anybody watching this, let me know, because I'm always looking out for a hidden gem something not so much known. I have no trouble reading subtitles, things like that. These movies are fucking awesome. They deserve to be spread about. They deserve to be talked about. They deserve to be appreciated and shown, internationally to everybody. There's a lot of people I know who don't give these films chances. That's why I'm talking about them. I love these films. They need to be talked about. They need to be shown. So, yep, guys, like I said, like, comment, subscribe if you liked my commentary on this, my thoughts on this. If you like this film, you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this review. I enjoy giving my thoughts and reviewing things. Love it. And I shall see you guys in the next review, in the next video that I do. This has been Agony333 signing out, everybody. Have yourselves a fantastic, wonderful fucking day. Peace out, folks. Have a good one.